Vegan teacher is gone, clap emojis, and yes, I am late to this one, but you know what, I'm very tired, guys.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
So I haven't talked about this lady, I haven't talked about the vegan teacher, and why haven't I? Because it seems like a topic that would be right up my alley as somebody who used to be a big chungus of a man. Well, quite honestly, I don't care. I just don't. The libertarian in me says that if she's not violating anybody's NAP, then I really don't need to get involved, but, you know, I mean, she just doesn't shut up about it, so, you know, at some point I'm gonna make a video. Like, if somebody wants to tell you about, you know, their diet or lifestyle, you could just be like, it's not for me. You know, it's really different strokes for different folks. And, you know, if the stroke that appeals to the vegan teacher is veganism, that's cool, that's fine, man. Like, I've met plenty of vegans in my life who are nice people and don't open up a conversation by saying, hello, my name's Chester McCheese, and I am a vegan. And really, I think that's the message of today, that diets and lifestyles like veganism is really a different strokes for different folks kind of deal, right? And if you are somebody who's like, oh, McDonald's should have more vegan options, I 100% agree with you. Why? Because pretty much every business should give a lot of options to the consumer because that's great for business. Though I do think that it's a little kooky to ask McDonald's, a huge mega corporation that would never listen to anybody anyway, that they should just go 100% vegan. Like, that's just completely unreasonable.
3, 2, 1, sing! Eating animals is wrong, McDonald's. Hurting animals is wrong, McDonald's. Share this song and change your entire menu to be vegan from now on.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
So let's say you're an activist, right? Not even about veganism. Let's just say you're an activist. And you want to win a battle of hearts and minds. Well, you gotta make an inviting community to convince those that are on the fence to come over to your side. Because there will always be somebody who is hardline stop against your side. So how do you convince the majority on the fencers to come to your side? Well, again, you gotta be inviting, right? Give good information. And just be an overall cool person. That wasn't the vegan teacher's MO. For the unfamiliar with this kind of online behavior, just think of online navel gazing, completely separate from vegans, right? Just online navel gazing in general. Think of that guy on the subreddit who doesn't shut up about how subs are better than dubs, right? Think about the guy you go out to the bar with your bros who orders the disgustingly, super ridiculously hot wings because he wants to prove how much of a masculine man he is by eating absolute garbage flavored chicken tenders, right? Think about the people like that who think they're better than everybody else because they sit in a circle jerk subreddit and say dumb things all the time like Fortnite bad and TikTok bad. When you think of that kind of behavior and that kind of attitude to everything, that's basically what the vegan teacher is. I think she and her unironic fans, though they are few and far between, are trying to bring others into the fold of veganism. But I think this is one of those things where you're talking about your thing that you're passionate about publicly, so that way peers of yours who already do that thing will know how virtuous and good you are. I've talked about this subject in my canceling video before, but basically she's just signaling to others, in particular other vegans, how much of a good vegan she is by talking about veganism and being a vegan online, rather than trying to convince anybody. And I think she's doing it unintentionally, but you know, who knows? People are crazy, maybe she's doing it intentionally. So yeah, I think a lot of what her content is actually her signaling to other hardcore vegans how hardcore of a vegan she is. And if you'd like more content like that canceling video or stuff like this, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. I'd really like to hit 200K before spring break, which is like in April. So, you know, make it happen, guys. As someone who's done the professional activism thing, by the way, guys, I did activism for politics, not for veganism, right? But you learn a couple of things when you're in this space of being a professional opinion person that tries to get other people to your opinion. Like, one of the things that always irritated me is that people who identify solely with their diet, race, religion, creed, ideals, right? And they say that's all they are 100% and that's all they talk about all the time. those people are fucking annoying. It's the equivalent of me running a channel about being Puerto Rican and talking about being Puerto Rican and doing Puerto Rican things and being Puerto Rican all the time and not shutting up about how Puerto Rican I am and being Puerto Rican and just not ever shutting up about it. Like, after a while, people do not care. What else do you do? No meme. When I was doing the whole politics thing, I met a pro-life feminist at an activism conference. Yeah, apparently I was at a OPAC, which I would like to call the Oxymoron Political Action Committee. I mean, she wasn't rude to me or anything. I just thought her ideals were fundamentally conflicting. This isn't to say I thought they were dumb either. You know, I found that quite interesting, you know, from a personal standpoint, but I just did not agree with them.
So students, there is an example where somebody called me the N-word. And all I did is make a 15-second video explaining to people the importance of eating fruits and vegetables. And I gave them a shopping list. He didn't like the shopping list, and so he called me the N-word. This is an example of what veganphobia is. It's sort of like racism. It's sort of like homophobia. It is insulting somebody simply for being vegan, simply for trying to defend animals, simply for trying to talk about it. This is not okay when society does that, and you have my permission to use the word veganphobia and call them out.
So that vegan teacher really encompasses this identity, right, where she is like, I am vegan, right? And that's it. That's all her personality is. And I really think that's pigeonholing yourself as a grown adult. I think, you know, if you identify by like, I am vegan, I am atheist, I am a yogi, shut up. Shut up. Do something else. Get a hobby. Start knitting. Especially when you're a grown-ass adult. Like, that stuff makes sense when you're like 16, 17. But like, imagine if I walked into the street and said, hey guys, I'm YouTuber. That's it. Just YouTuber. It's insufferable. It really is. You know, gamers, I'm not a religious man, right? I used to go to Catholic school, and you know, you leave Catholic school one of three ways. You either leave an atheist, gay with a uniform fetish, or Christian with a propensity to give thoughts and prayers and only wear Old Navy fast fashion while talking about how nice it was to travel to Africa and meet those poor people. Now, while I'm certain some of you in the audience would love for me to be the second one in that list, I'm actually the first. I'm not religious. But one of the things that pushed me away from Catholicism specifically was how everybody talked about how much holier than thou they were than everybody else. And yes, that's a pun. No joke, this was really cemented to me in like 8th grade when we had a priest come in. You know, a man who's never had sex with women of his own age. Altar boys don't count. But I remember this guy explain to us in front of a teacher who had a child out of wedlock that she would go to hell because she was a single mom who had a child with a man she was not married to. He also followed this up with hilarious takes like the gays are people with autism or sick, and made a direct comparison and then said that we need to help them with prayer. He also one time said to like a group of like 2nd graders, like small children, that no, little Timmy, your hamster will not go to heaven. It doesn't have a soul. You'll never see him again. He also said things like tattoos will send you to hell, getting plastic surgery, you going to hell. And then this one time, they had us all sit in a room and write empty letters to President Barack Obama about how he was killing babies with abortions. And all I could think was like, wow, what is going on here? I don't think I've been to Sunday Mass in years, and this sure as shit doesn't seem very Christian. Yeah, clearly I was a very smart 12-year-old, but no, seriously, that was an actual thing I thought when I was like 12, 13. It blew my mind how incredibly like rude all of it was. So I think by 6th grade I had reservations about religion, and then in 8th grade I discovered porn. And then at that moment I knew I was gonna have fun on the way out. The point is, vegan teacher, if you want to get young people into veganism, you can't explain it to them by explaining how bad they are as a person for eating meat. It's not convincing any young person to get away from that. First off, some, if not all, of the audience on TikTok has little to no control over what they eat because they're a kid living at home and it's really up to their parents. Or 2, if it is their choice, you shouldn't gaslight people into picking your side about a diet. You know, veggies can be cheap, along with other nutritious and healthy things. Those all can be cheap. But America in particular has this large issue with not funding education well, and moreover, not teaching people nutrition that is good and up-to-date information. And doubly so, they also should probably teach personal finance, but let's not get there right now. Anyway, as a result of good information not being out there to educate a populace, veganism, more as a result, has become kind of a status symbol. Now, I've met poor vegans who are genius cooks, don't get me wrong, that's happened before. And again, you know, nice people. But it's just that those are fewer and far between to the people working 2 jobs, making ends meet, and having to eat whatever they find, really. And it has nothing to do with the type of food rather than that they don't have the time because they're too busy working. I'm not advocating veganism, I'm advocating good health sciences education, which is hilariously out of date even when I went to high school, and hell, even colleges for some reason do not provide accurate, up-to-date information unless you want to spend like $100 plus. Anyway, hashtag diesel for an informed consumer. Vote for me for president next time because I'll get you your check or something. I don't know. And you know, that vegan teacher has a platform where she could teach people, but instead, she's just kind of full of herself.
Being vegan? It's not a choice. Remember, it's about the animals, not about food. Being a kind-hearted, compassionate animal defender is not a choice. Vegans are born vegan. They are born as kind and caring humans. They can't just wake up one day and become uncaring assholes. It doesn't work that way. Everybody has an asshole, but not everybody is one. Because of this, just like being racist or homophobic is wrong, to be vegan-phobic is also to be prejudiced. A vegan-phobic person is someone who makes fun of or harms or prevents animal defenders from being their authentic selves. Don't be vegan-phobic. Stay vegan. You were born vegan. It's in you. Be kind to animals. You know you don't want to hurt them. Go to howdoigovegan.com to learn a little bit more.
I just love how sure she is over all of her points and ideals about life, as if she could not have her ideals questioned at all. I firmly am a believer that you should always be questioning everything, especially things that define your identity. But boy, does she just come off like a great person to be around at parties. Literally, like, I think if I close my eyes and think of vegan Karen, it's her. Hell, screw vegan Karen. She's just like an archetypal Karen. By the way, I found out her full name, and it's Katie Karen Dykmeyer. Interesting last name. More like Yikesmeyer, because please don't cancel me for saying Dykmeyer. Anyway, she lost her account, and apparently it was for this.
I got 2 more golden play buttons today that I'm going to show to girls if they come round. Because they do.
Tommy, the nice vegan girls don't want to see your buttons. But if you want them to play with your buttons, you're going to have to show them your fruits and your vegetables.
Jesus Christ, that's really weird and unwarranted. You could be his grandma, lady. God. Apparently she's a real vegan English teacher. I don't know why vegan needs to be in front of an English teacher. It's just because that's how she rolls in her life. But you know, you could really lose your job for saying something like this, especially if you're a teacher. Oh my god. You didn't even specify vegan girls. Like Tommy was just talking about girls. Who says that the girls are vegan? I also don't like how she says buttons. She says buttons. Like, there's too much emphasis on the word. Like buttons. I don't like it. Listen, I know I have vegans in the audience. So vegans in the audience, do you guys claim her? Do you want her to be a representative for your community? Because I wouldn't want her as a representative for my community. I just know that. Anyway, I ended up deciding to do a video after I came across this scathing insider article on her, where it talks about how she doubled down on her statements from a previous TikTok comparing killing animals to the death of Jews in the Holocaust. Yeah, I don't need to explain why that's a bad take, right? I don't need to, right? Karen Dykmeyer also posted a song telling her followers to change their religion, had her dog go on a vegan diet and argued that it is less selfish and more special to come out as an animal rights activist rather than LGBTQ. End quote. I don't need to explain why this is also a horrible take, right? I saw her make a song out of George Floyd and made like direct comparisons to animals as well, and all I could think was like, how removed are you from like the rest of the world?
Hey. For fun, I went to your profile and noticed that you have dark skin. Maybe you call yourself black. Do you know what I did when George Floyd died? I bawled my eyes out. I cried like crazy. Do you know how many Black Lives Matter protests I've been to? Do you know how your ancestors were treated? Enslaved, raped, and murdered? Do you not know what they do to the animals right now in the industry? It would be great, even if you're not saving the animals, and if you don't give a shit about anyone but yourself, you at least don't make it worse for people like me who are trying.
Wow, that was bad. This just in, a lady named Karen Dykmeyer has just been approved as the picture for virtue signaling in the Internet Dictionary. More at 11. That empathy sticker is looking like deliberate, ironic, dramatic irony. Like, I honestly, it's absolute, I can't, the universe works in mysterious ways, doesn't it, Dykmeyer? I love it. How could you take all of that and just make it about you? She's not the only one, but she's like the most hilarious example of virtue signaling with, you know, all the BLM stuff and really everything that's been happening online for the last 6 months to a year. Also, the comparison with animals and black people. My God, lady, what are your opinions on race? Because I do not want to hear them. Honestly, I'm really surprised she didn't make a spicy comment about this guy eating fucking watermelon or having an absent father. My God! Like, it's like if she did it to me, right? And she was like speaking like to a Puerto Rican, right? And she was saying that. It's like if she told me, oh, you should stop eating animals because I drink Cafe Bustelo and listen to Mark Anthony. And I know how to chill with you and your African-American boys in the ghetto. I am just like you as a vegan. I bendito, so stop eating the poor cows. If you just kind of change what race she's talking to whatever race you are, and then think of racial stereotypes associated with you, you really realize how horrible it is what she's saying. Quote, coming out as an animal rights activist is one of the most courageous, unselfish things you will ever do, because it's not about you, it's about others, Karen said in relation to her LGBTQ stance. Hey, audience who has been ostracized or knows someone who is ostracized for being gay or transgender or whatever else is out there, but you know, just try to cover my bases. You know, how'd that go with your family in Middle America? Really? Oh, did they persecute you? Probably not as bad as Dykmeyer was persecuted. Oh no, your mom hasn't talked to you for 10 years? Well, that's not as bad as what Chick-fil-A is doing. Okay, Chick-fil-A is way worse than your parents who are never speaking to you again or giving you any financial support, love, or care or attention ever again, and will also not appear at your wedding or do anything nice for you ever again. Sorry people who need transgender reassignment surgery. Sorry, this chicken is above you. My God, lady. It goes without saying that Dykmeyer is certainly the vegan icon nobody wanted, and I find her statements and stance on all these things absolutely hilarious and absolutely ridiculous and rude. You know, it's one thing to just like randomly bring up some kid's race and say, hey, African-American fellow, I care about you, okay? So you should care about the animals. That's bad enough. But then like the stuff with the like LGBTQ issues, it's like, really, you think you've been persecuted for being gay? Not as persecuted as me for being vegan. That's what it sounds like. It really does sound like that. Literally, there are places on Earth right now, right, that being gay will get you publicly executed in a square, okay? That's not America, right? I will say that. but it definitely happens in places, right? And in America, there's crazy people who just come out of nowhere and just stab you because you looked at them funny, or you held hands with your boyfriend, all right? And two lovely men were minding their own business, and then one of them got stabbed 7 times. You know, it's like, it's crazy. It's... No, but the vegans, my guy. Listen, I don't think that vegan teacher is preaching nonsense when she says there should be more options at certain restaurants. Abso-fucking-lutely there should. But that's because it's good for everybody, not just vegans. But the amount of superiority she seems to claim while talking about social issues and caring about other people, while turning it around and making it about her and veganism, is absolutely abhorrent. Also, when somebody makes a comparison to the Holocaust, they instantly lose the argument. And it's just really hard to win someone over when you go, yeah, you know one of the worst things in human history? This is literally that. Anyway, guys, be kind to your fellow man, vegan or not. And hell, you know, just, I don't know, just apologize to your friends. I don't know for what, just anything, right? I wanna apologize on behalf of Dykmeyer, just because. Anyway, you know what would be an absolute win for everybody? If you subscribe to FPS Diesel, because I fight for the rights of every man. Also, you can follow me on the socials at FPS Diesel. Yeah, be well, be kind, and maybe don't make trans or gay issues or race issues about yourself, because boy is it really cringe. Oh, and I also got merch and a Patreon, depending on if you want to support the channel as well. Be well and don't be a Dykmeyer.